Okay. I think you got a thing. Just say got it.
There.
Okay.
Yay. Live on YouTube. Oh, there we are.
Oh, it says it?
Y-
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, saying meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
Okay, perfect. You got a thing. Just say got it. Okay. Let me put mute on YouTube because last time,
Oh, it keeps.
yeah, there was feedback. Okay, so let me wait a little bit because I know there's a delay. So I'm gonna wait a little bit and then I'll talk to whoever's watching. Okay. So, okay, I'll go ahead and give the little. Okay, so hello everybody, welcome. This is gonna be an episode. So this is gonna be episode 82. If you're
Mhm.
tuning in with SiSSA, SiSSA is a mindset coach plus many other things, right? She's also a writer, singer. She's an interior designer. Many talents. So we're gonna get into all that. She's gonna share some of her story. I actually met her in a spiritual community, so I'm gonna definitely ask her about her spiritual experiences. And by all means, if anyone has any questions, go in the chat um, and ask questions. And then, I'll relay them over to SiSSA and she could answer any questions you have for her or for me. And, in the future, just anyone that's watching, I can actually bring people in. So if anyone, when we make it, this one's not going to be like that. But in the future, we can also bring, to make it a whole party thing, right? We could have 3, 4, 5 people. I think we could have up to obviously we're not gonna have 100 people here, but we can bring, so if anyone after wants to share experience, maybe I'll start doing that open, like where, hey, tonight is share your UFO experience night, and then whoever has a story, I'll bring them in, video or phone, however, if you're not comfortable with video, we'll just bring you in, your sound, your voice or whatever. So yeah, okay. So not to take away from SiSSA's story, it's an honor to meet you because this is our first time seeing face to face, right? So
True.
yeah,
Yes. I'm excited. Yes. I'm
absolutely.
so happy to be here. Thank you.
No, absolutely. No, right away, like just talking to you, like your energy is amazing, right? Like very, like yeah, like why yeah, so let's get into that because I would definitely want to know why you're so cheerful. But um first let's start with
Everybody asks me that. It's so funny.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But first let's start with okay, obviously, right? Like I said, I met you in a spiritual community. So that when you were little, were you already experiencing spiritual things, or is this something that now, like at a later age, all of a sudden, it hit you and you're like, oh, now I want to delve into that.
So, um, well, it's funny that this is the first thing that you brought up, which is great. So growing up, I I had two parents that were completely different, I would say. Now when I look back, I'm like, oh, I wonder what was the connection there. I mean, they talked a lot. Maybe that was it. It was intellectual or something. I don't know. But anyway,
Mm.
so my dad was very spiritual. He was into music. He was into writing poetry, whatever, da da da. And so he was my first spiritual teacher.
Mm.
Mom, yeah, no, not really. Like none of that. But so dad would spend time talking to me about things and he would do, like I don't know, he's like, come here, let's shake you, let's move your energy and let's get rid of the negative energy and do all sorts of things. And he was super, I don't know if you know Yoruba, candomblé. It's like they believe in these gods,
Mm.
the Orishas.
Oh, okay. I know the
Yeah,
Orishas. Yeah.
yeah. And so that's how we say in Portuguese, Orisha,
Oh,
and Orishas.
Orisha.
And so he was super, super, super into all of that, and he would teach me about those things, and talk to me about that. And so I grew up with his teachings and an understanding, because of
Mm.
course when you're little and when you're a teenager, you are listening to those things, but you're not truly absorbing because you need the life experience, right? Like
Mm.
no matter what, I see this with my son now. My son is 14. And I
Oh.
oh my gosh, I talk to him, I say so many things, and he's listening, but he looks at me like, oh my yeah, you need the life experience. Don't worry. All of this will make so much sense as you go through life. And so for me, it was just like that. So I like to say that. So this is me and dad. We're, on our path together. He's teaching me. And then I get to my teenage years and I go, woo, and then adult years, and then I'm like, whoop, and then I come back to his teachings like later on in life, and I'm like, it all makes so much sense. But dad is not here. He's been gone for almost 15 years now,
Oh.
and so I'm like, I hope you're seeing this. Do you see my growth, Dad? Oh my gosh, I am the woman that I always knew I could be, and I am the woman that you raised. And so I have many conversations with him, especially when I'm driving, because when I'm driving is when I'm either listening to podcasts, or I'm talking to God, or I'm talking to dad, or I'm talking to myself, because I drive a lot. So I'm always in the car, like my commute to work. I work as Mary Poppins. I work with children. I sing and
Oh.
dance with them. I plant
Oh,
little
wow.
seeds of joy and happiness. Yes, it's I will explain later why I love working with children. But so then I hope that he knows. And that's how it all started. It started with dad. And I am 41 now. And it was only when I turned 40 that I felt a major shift. A major shift. I was like, whoa, like this is real. This is real. It was all everything. Mental, physical, everything. It really does something to you turning 40. Um but um but then I had an awakening. And it was a I feel like it was a little bit of a brutal awakening because I had one before. We don't have just one. Like sometimes you have, yeah, but it depends. I don't know. Like this was like this really threw me into the depths of myself. Like I had no choice. I just had to dive in, and to really sit with myself and to just purge.
Mm.
And it was all of last year. I am not a person who frowns, so I never had this thing here. But because I cried so much last year, and when you cry, you frown. Now I have this, which I don't
Oh.
care. But I'm just saying, it's crazy. I'm just saying this to explain how much I cried. It was so much that I gave myself a this little thing, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, so from August of last year, yeah. So um I've been experiencing a major, major, major transition, and I love it. I love it because I do feel like I am finally the woman that I always knew that I could be, and I always wanted to be. And I'm like, how? I'm like I felt her in me. I felt the potential because I am someone who I see everyone's potential. I always see the best in people. I see the like I you know I'm always looking at the bright side of things in everyone. And I could feel mine. And I'm like, but how do I get there? What do I do? And so yeah. But anyway, so it just took this brutal awakening, and I'm like, oh, okay. It makes sense.
No, I
Yeah.
love it. I'm very like intrigued. So what caused this, if you don't mind me asking, what caused this? You don't have to, I mean, it's up to you, but what caused this bam, like you said?
Ah, am I declaring this to the world?
I mean, you don't have to, it's fine. I
I
mean,
I don't know if you have heard, but it's everybody. It's out there. I didn't know anything about it. I had heard one thing or another, but I had no idea what it was. I am a twin flame, and I met my twin flame,
hmm.
and that caused
So
the the awakening.
so in your experience, you feel it was like a hard lesson then, right? That's what you're saying? Or
I
because
don't want no, when I say brutal, I say I was not expecting. I was not expecting it to happen. I was I had just like I was in a relationship with I was in a relationship for 2 years and I had ended that relationship. And although it was the right thing to do, it was so hard, but it was the right thing to do. So I ended it in May 4th, because I love Star Wars. May the force be with you. And the force was with me. I ended the relationship.
I love it. I love it.
And then in June, end of June or beginning of July, whatever, I meet this person and like I was, the other guy was like there was nobody but this person, and it was like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like if anybody out there is a twin flame and you are not understanding what's happening to you, please reach out to me because I can help you, because I needed all the help at the time, and I had none, and I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know what was happening, and it's insane. So that was the cause. I don't want to talk too much about it, but that was the cause.
Okay,
It was meeting this twin
but
flame.
I just want to make sure I understand. So you and this person are not together anymore, or you are together?
Oh no, so with twin flames, it's very complex. It's very
No, no.
complex.
I studied. I actually went through that where it made me, and I dove into the whole twin flame thing. But
Yeah,
go ahead, explain. For people that don't understand, it's fine. Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. So it's not a romantic relationship. It's an energetic relationship. Well, an energetic connection, I want to say. And so it's basically the journey is not about being with your twin flame. It's about being with yourself, and it's learning to love yourself. It's learning um to trust yourself, to know your worth. It basically just really brings out all the best in you if you choose to look at it this way, which is, of course, the way that I look at it, because I always, like I said, look at the positive side of everything. And so it truly just everything that that I always wanted, it it I found it within, because it catapulted me into this journey within. And so the twin flames, you come together, and then it ignites this awakening. And I hear that there is a honeymoon phase. We did not have a honeymoon phase, but it was a beautiful connection. So much energy, beautiful energy, like I knew this person since I was born. And um like we would be in the same room, and it was so peaceful. So the type of peace that is almost like addicting. Like
Mm.
it's so you feel so light that you just want to immerse yourself in that forever, that yeah, I would come home and I would be like, oh, I'm in total bliss after spending time with that person, with the person. And so yeah, so then we had like 4 weeks together, and then we got separated, because it seems like every twin flame has a separation phase. So that's when you go within, because you have to. There is no other way. If you don't, life will, I don't know what happens, because I did. So yeah, if you want to find out what happens if you don't, find someone who hasn't. But anyway, so I guess I don't know. I think I lost my train of thought. But anyway, it's because it's so complex, and we're not really supposed to talk about it. Like
Oh, I
there's
didn't
so
know
much
that.
to this. Yeah, like you're not supposed to talk about the person, because then you're directing your energy to the person, and that
Okay, I
pushes
agree.
them away.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so much. It's like,
Well,
it's crazy.
well, for me, I'll just say it briefly. Like I went through that in 2019,
Okay.
and I met someone that made me feel like that's what it was, right?
Right.
Because I didn't even know what it was, and I looked it up because of this person. I even wrote a song called Twin Flame, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, even that, right? So
I love it.
yeah, but see now, but then after, because then you go down the rabbit hole, and there's even the thing about false. So after, to me, I was like, nah, this person was a false twin flame. But whatever it
Oh.
was, whatever it was, I see. There's people that feel like that, right? They have that, because that 100%. That's what it taught me. Like how you said, everything's within, right? You don't need like this other person. So to me, I cut that person off. And to me, I don't look for that reunion like at all. Like that's why I don't want to talk about it, because I'm just talking, because just to let you know, like, I guess I got what you're saying. Like I went, but and it was because of this person. So in a way, I think like, could it have been maybe? Because after two, see that thing, it was so much that I never had dreamed about anyone. Like they were always coming into my dreams, until finally they came into a dream where they showed me this contract. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah. And then and then I was still, and it's funny because there's been times, see, the spirit world hooks me up, right? I love it because there's been times that I couldn't forgive someone in this reality, and when I forgive them, I wake up and it's like a huge weight lifted. I'm like, oh wow, I don't feel nothing. I would have never forgiven this person in a million years in this reality, but they hooked me up in the yeah in the dream. I was like, hey, you know what? You did
Love
what
it.
you did. Boom, we're good. And I would wake up and I'm like, oh shit, like that. It's literally gone. Like, boom, it's not even a thought anymore. No weight, so it's beautiful, right?
Yes.
But with this person, I cussed them out. I grabbed the conch out like F you and your stupid con. I was like, you know, so it was almost like they were trying to show me, well, hey, this was part of our agreement, like before we came, kind of thing. And I was like, I don't
Maybe
give a
it is.
blue, like F you, you're just stupid. And I ripped up the contract and that was it. And then I think since after that, like I didn't dream about that person no more. That was the end of like, and boom, like,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So see, even right
Okay.
now, just thinking about it, like, it's like,
Ah.
no, no, I could breathe easier. I could breathe
Oh,
easy. It's like, no, it put an end to that.
it
Because
is.
even though, like that, how you said, it's something that didn't last years, and it was just like within a year's time or something. But they kept coming into my dream. Imagine in 2019, and then for a while, a couple years, they were still coming into my dream. So I was like, what is this? And it even confused me because it makes you think that is this like, because here I am thinking like, nah, I feel like they're false to inflame, but then they keep coming. So what was this huge connection? Why do they keep, until I ripped that contract? Then it was finally done. You know what I mean? But
Wow.
yeah, just to
That's
not to
very
throw
interesting.
yeah, not to throw off anything. So how do you feel? Do you feel like you're waiting for that reunion?
Oh, I'm not waiting.
Oh,
I don't wait. No, I'm living my
are you
life.
looking
I'm,
forward to it? Because I know it's mixed
I
in the spiritual community. It's mixed. There's half the people that don't believe in twin flames. Half the people do. Some people are just yearning for, when we get to. I'll see people that they'll be like, oh, my twin flame. They're married. They have kids, but they haven't realized that I'm their twin. I'm like, wow. So I don't feel like, sometimes I read that and I'm like, that doesn't sound healthy. Like.
the
So
thing
how do you feel about it? Not to cast
the
judgment, however anybody feels about it, it's 1,000,000% fine. But how do you feel about it? I'm just curious.
well, the thing is, I understand that this is it's a spiritual journey. It is a spiritual journey, and it is my spiritual journey.
Mm,
I met him, and he ignited this whole thing, but I am the one who has um I'm the one who's in control of myself, right? Not him. So I understood that I had to go within, and I had to work on myself, and I understood that this is about me and not about us. And when I understood that, of course, in the beginning, and I think I didn't mention this, but in the beginning, um, you are obsessed
Mm,
about this person, right? There is this phase that's obsession, and and then after the split, you don't understand why. So then you get into this phase that they call the chaser and runner, and so the runner is usually the one that's the so-called divine masculine, and it can be a woman, or you can be a guy and be a divine feminine, so it's not by gender. It doesn't matter, because soul doesn't go by gender. Anyway, so I'm the divine feminine, and so I was the chaser. So then the more I was like, what's going on? Why are you not talking? Why are you, just asking? Like, because at first it's this beautiful, wonderful connection. It's this and it's that, and you're talking, and then all of a sudden there's nothing. And then you're like, what's going on? And the more you go after, the more the person runs. So what is to be understood about twin flames is it's believed that it's a one soul, that when it comes to earth, it splits into two, but it's one, but splits into two because it wants to evolve faster.
mm,
And so it's having two experiences. That's me in another body. And so that's why it's an energetic connection and not a romantic, because um, we are polar opposites, because we're and so the more you are chasing, the more you're making this about them, the more they're running away, because it means that you are running away from yourself. So the whole point, when you understand that you just have to go within, you have to work on yourself, and one of the major things is you have to become as present as you can be in the moment, in the now. Then you start to magnetize your soul in, and that's when they are able to be around you, because I don't know if you felt this, but the energy, and maybe I don't know if it's the same with everybody, but I have a lot of energy. So it's not everybody, every man that can hold my me, my energy, like it takes a special kind of guy, I guess, because I am woo, and everywhere I go, I talk to everybody and whatever. And so if the guy is not a confident guy, he can't be with me, and so, and all this energy, all this thing. And so I guess if all of this is real, if we are ever going to be together, if I'm doing the work right and I magnetize this person back in, I understand why God made me a twin flame, because only him would be able to hold this crazy energy, whatever, other than myself. You know what I mean? To be around me every day, whatever. Yeah. And so I know. It's everybody asks me, where's you're 41? Like, you have more energy than a 20-year-old. I'm like, I know, I don't know why. It's just I just have it. it's from it's from source. um and so that's about the twin flames. Just so that's my view, that's my take. I just made it about me. It's about me, it's my journey, it's my transformation. And so I'm not worried about what they're doing, where they are, blah, blah, blah. It's and if it's there is ever going to be a reunion or whatever, I of course I choose him. Yes, I want to be with him. But if it doesn't happen, I have to move on. What am I going to do? So that's my take. Like, I would absolutely love that, but I am focused here on me and what's in front of me. And I've been practicing that a lot, even because this has to do with detachment as well. So even I am a mom, but even with my son, if he's not immediately in front of me, I am not sitting there doing whatever I'm doing, thinking, oh my God, what is my son doing? Where's my son? No, because I know my son. I know the son that I raised. I know that if he ever needs anything, he has a phone, he'll call me. If anything ever happens, God forbid, I will also, receive a call. And so if everything is okay, why am I going to sit there worried, thinking, I have things I have to do. I have to take care of myself. I have things that I do. I have work. I have this, I have that. So I learned that, yeah, pay attention to yourself and pay attention to what's immediately in front of you. And this is one of my dad's um, lessons. He used to
Mm.
say, if you are with someone, like right now, it's you and I talking, you are the most important person in my life right now, because this is my life right now. It's me and you. There's nobody else. And so dad always said that, like, give your attention, be present. Do not let the person speak, let them finish. Don't think about what you want to say. Listen, be
Mm.
present, and your mind can just stay blank because you're being present. And so and for me, being a Brazilian, a lot of things uh uh play in this behavior, or whatever, this
Oh,
manner,
okay.
like being Brazilian, the culture, we talk over each other, we talk loud, and I guess humans, we're humans, and we do. It's so easy for the mind to quickly jump into something that, oh wait, you're saying that, oh, let me say something before you finish. But we do this. But in like in with all of this, I have learned, and from dad's lesson, that the more you just allow people, like the energy to flow, and people to speak as they will, and then the more things, I don't know, the more things work out. I don't know, like English is my second language, so I'll do this a lot, but anyway.
No, I love
So
that little thing you're doing. It was soothing for some reason. No, it just made me like, like air, water,
I
just like very
hypnotize people when I
like
talk.
it's no, it was. I was like, oh, okay. Like it's
I
good
talk I,
energy.
I talk a lot with my hands,
No,
yes.
that's good though. But it was a very like soothing motion, right? It was like, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So
So
so yeah, so the flow, yeah, but go ahead.
no, no, just since you brought up your dad, I had wanted to ask you that. Uh you mentioned Orishas, right?
Yes.
And so do you have a lot of knowledge about that? I looked into them briefly because well, I'll go into it after. Go ahead. If you have knowledge about that, I'll tell you why after. But yeah, Orishas.
I wish I knew more. Dad he would teach me a few things. He would talk about them. He wrote millions of songs about it. Being
Oh.
from where I am from, Bahia, which is the state, my state. Salvador is the city, and this is in Brazil.
Mm.
So the Yoruba, the Candomblé, the Orishas, oh my gosh, it's like second nature to
Mm.
people from there. Yeah, you see voodoos left everywhere.
Mm.
Everybody wears white. Most people wear only white on Fridays. We're all, yeah, like there's so many places where you can go and you can you know um do oferendas.
Oh,
What
okay.
was this in English?
Yeah, yeah. Like offerings.
Ofrendas.
Oh,
Yeah, it's offerings,
ofrendas. Yeah.
to the orishas and whatnot. And so it's huge there. It's huge. And so you basically have an understanding of it growing up, because there's, like I said, it's everywhere, so you can't run away from it. But I wish I knew more, and I need to read more about it. I need to investigate more, look into it more. But dad, he just taught me like the basics, so I know the names, and I know what they represent, and I know my orishas and whatnot, and yeah, stuff like that. But
Oh,
not
so how'd you learn who your orishas are? How do you
so.
learn that?
So basically, like it's like people will look at you, like like the signs. They'll look at you and say, "Oh, I can tell you're a Libra, or I can tell you're a Gemini," or some people can truly tell. So people will just come to you and say, "Oh, you are from Iansan," or "Oh, you got a Shun girl," or something, So
Ah,
by your behaviors, by whatever. So mine is Yeonsun. She's like, she loves to dance. She's mysterious. She talks a lot. She's a seductress, or and so yeah, and so it's all that, and she's very independent. She doesn't need a partner, but she welcomes a partner. So I see myself a lot in that. So I've been told it's also like she doesn't like to be stared at. I never
mm,
like being stared at. Like when, because some people, they will stare at you, and they oh my gosh, they direct so much energy to you. Then I'm like, why are you looking at me? Don't look at me like that. But like growing up, I would say that, like, don't look at me, like, because but yeah, now I just look away, or I'm not usually. Yeah, I don't tell people don't look at me, but yeah. Oh, also, I guess she doesn't like to be touched on the head.
oh,
I
no,
don't.
but I can't stand that. Like people that do that, like, and it's yeah, like it blows my mind. Like I don't like it. I've told people like, hey, don't touch my head. Like what the hell's wrong
Yeah,
with you? But
yeah,
it's a spiritual thing. Like it's a spiritual
right.
thing for me. Like that's not a good thing to do to somebody. Like don't. Yeah.
It
So.
is. It is. And Orishas, they are gods, so it's spiritual. Yes. And so,
Mm,
yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. Like, of course, if I'm with someone and they're like caressing, that's different.
mm.
But like someone tapping you on the head, or nah, it's like it just feels so wrong. Like there's no
Yeah.
confirmation when that happens.
Yeah. It doesn't feel. Yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean, it's fine. A kid, you pat him on the head. But even as an adult, like it doesn't.
I
You know,
know.
it doesn't make sense for anyone to like. I was walking with a friend once. Already grown. Already grown. And I had just met this guy for the first time, and then his friend, my friend's friend that I had never met, he's like, "Hey, can I touch you on the head?" And I was like, "What?" And then like even my friend made a face like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And then and then he asked again and again. It was like, "Dude, really? Like, are you?" Like it's like, yeah, like I don't know. It's weird. It was weird to me.
maybe
Like,
his maybe his soul was sensing that your soul has a very deep connection, and this, the crown, that, yeah, and so he's like, ooh, let me get some of that, let me.
yeah, but no, it's. I feel like it's a disrespectful thing. But let me.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's no what do you call it? So it's more just someone telling you like, oh, I feel that this is your orisha. So it's
What do
really not. It's not so much that you could look it up like, oh, this is something like.
Yeah, no, you don't look good. I don't think. Yeah, no, it's what how the way they do it is you just go into a terreiro. It's
Mm.
called terreiro. No, no quotations. Just terreiro, which is, yeah. Why am I doing this? Terreiro is like a spiritual home, let's
Oh,
say, where they do all their practices. And so you go there, and then they say they call it fazer santo, which is like make your orisha. I don't
oh,
know why they say make your, yeah, it's like, so come in here and we'll find out who are your orishas, and we'll teach you how to make all the offerings and whatnot, and you get some sort of a baptism done, which is not that, it's not, I'm explaining this very wrong, but just so you guys can have an idea, because that's how I guess we would understand it, as like a baptism, but it's, yeah, like
mm.
making the orisha. I don't know. It's kind of like you allowing him in, or calling him in, offerings. Yeah,
What?
something like
And okay, so
that. I'll have to
that's
come back on here with knowledge
no, absolutely. But let me
on
so
this.
now that you mentioned that, see about calling it in, let me explain why. Like so tarot, you're familiar with tarot, obviously, right? All that.
I
So,
love tarot.
oh, okay. So, okay.
Yeah.
Tarot came to me for the first time, I think in 2020. It came into to me in a dream. I didn't even know how to pronounce tarot. I think I still said like tarot or whatever. I didn't know nothing about tarot. Uh, I've told this story before, but not like this other part. So it came to me in a dream. When I woke up, I knew. I Googled it. Like I saw the message. I found the reader a reader, like everything came into my dream. I was like, what? So I found them. And then I went down the rabbit hole. And yeah, it looked like there was a bunch of messages that I needed to connect with. Right? That's crazy. No, because I have a candle and it just like the flame went on. I'm like, all right. The
What, just now?
Orishas are probably, huh?
Just now?
Yeah, just now, and
Oh,
oh, it got my, cause yeah, I can't even see it cause the computer, and then it just got my attention cause I was like, oh, okay, like,
that's funny.
yeah, it was weird, but I mean, nothing's weird, right? But obviously, something wanted to get my attention, but so the tarot thing, and then after that, so then tarot came, boom, 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 since then, and then it came to me so much, and I got an interest in it that I thought, okay, maybe I'm supposed to do this tarot reading stuff, and some of my favorite readers, they happen to be like Geminis too and everything, right? And like I told you, so
Oh,
I was like, because I guess they go, some of them, not all of them, but some go in like, because we love information, right? So they really give good readings about, oh, this, like, so they go in a lot of
right.
times, or the ones that I would see. So anyways, finally I was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to start doing reading. So I went because I saw how you pick a deck. I guess a lot of times they're gifted, or you just go and you see which one calls to you. So out of all
Mm.
of them, nothing was really calling out to me. And then I got this deck it said Orishas.
Oh,
And
wow.
when I picked it up, my head lit up like a Christmas tree. It was like instantly,
Wow.
boom, like if I picture like a beam of light just shooting up, like I connected so much that. But then after I got home, I bought the deck and I got home and I realized, okay, this is different. It's not exactly like the tarot. So everything that I had been learning, it's different characters. It's all the orishas, I guess, and other stuff. So I was gonna be kind of lost. But when I looked it up, they kind of said that it's like you're inviting them in almost. And I was like, wait a second. I don't mind things helping me get messages out, but what do you mean like they're gonna come? It's like you're giving them permission here, like, you know what I mean? I picture like the
Yes.
movie Ghost, right? Like when you seen Ghost, right?
Oh, yes, many times.
Like when Oda May, that guy goes and she's like,
Yes.
oh. Yeah. So I was like, oh, wait a second. That sounds a little more than what I'm willing to do. I'm not really willing to. And then also I was like, so I looked them up and I guess it was like these German people had made this and it had like, so I was like, I didn't like, that's of course me being judgmental that I would have preferred like something about indigenous people and this and that to be,
Yeah.
more culturally like, okay. So the fact that some German people made it too, I was like, I returned it. But the crazy thing is never has a deck hit me
Call.
like that Orisha one. Yeah.
You
So
gotta
I
go
feel,
back. This
huh?
is you gotta go back. This is a confirmation. I wasn't even thinking about it Orishas when we started talking, and then all of a sudden we're talking about it. So,
Uh,
and then the candle. Ooh,
oh, that's right.
the Orishas are calling you.
I know
They
that's
want to come
crazy.
in.
But well, now I'm a lot more in tune with like, psychic gifts and this and that. So,
Yeah.
you know, but like I would like to learn more about them for sure. That's why I was okay. You mentioned them, so let me, because I've never mentioned that it was actually this deck about Orishas. I think I've said like, oh, I want to get this deck, but I never actually said that it was an Orisha deck. And dude, my whole no other deck to this day. I mean, I probably
Wow.
own like 5 decks, right?
Uh-huh.
The last two were like, I wasn't even gonna buy any decks anymore, and because now that I get it directly, I don't really need cards. So I was
Right.
like, yeah, I was like, wow. I know people like to see the cards, but it's like it's more direct. When it's direct, it's like they show you exactly, right, kind of thing.
Yes. Yes.
So, well, let me ask you. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So the orishas, that's the whole thing. So
I
I wanted to
love
ask you,
it.
but do you have any? Have you ever had anything like that? Like, any precognitive dreams? Any like things like? Has your dad came, like after your dad passed away, was he coming to you in dreams and everything?
So very interesting. So I think because I want it so bad, maybe it doesn't happen, or maybe it will still happen, or I don't know. But um, I I am extremely intuitive,
Okay.
very, very intuitive. Energy, oh my gosh, I read energy like nobody else. Like someone is sitting next to me and they're saying one thing and their whole body is saying something completely different. I can feel jealous energy. I can feel everything, and it's not comfortable. It's not, because I am someone who now I can talk about why I work with children.
Oh,
I am
okay.
someone who yeah, I am someone who I'm very childlike.
Mm.
I still see all a lot of magic in the world. I still look at things and I'm like, oh, beautiful, like a child, like I'm seeing it for the first time, or when I listen to music, I'm listening to music. I'm like dancing, like there's no tomorrow. Like it's like, I'm alive. Why won't, it's I want to feel it in my pores and everything. And this is me. I don't do it for anybody else. I don't do it for attention. I do it for me because it makes me feel alive, and I love feeling alive. And that's my email is SiSSA loves being alive, and it's
Mm.
also my handle on Instagram. SiSSA loves
Oh,
being alive.
yeah.
And
When I read that, I was like, I love it, right? Like, yeah. Okay, but go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, for me, because I love being alive, all of this makes me feel so much alive. And with and I have, my dad used to say like, you're um he used to say ingenua, but like when a person is genuine, I guess,
Oh,
genuine, or naive also, or I don't know, like someone who's, oh, you're so good, you're so kind that people will step all over you. He used to say that. And it did. It happened a lot. Oh my god. Oh my god. But anyway, so when I realized that, hey, it's my choice what I do for work. It's my choice. And so why am I going to put myself in a miserable situation when I can be having fun every day? And so I work with children, either in a daycare or as a one-on-one, like a nanny. I
mm.
love, I prefer, I
Wow.
prefer, I prefer because it's just me and the kids. And sometimes I have 3 kids, sometimes I have 2, sometimes I have 1. And I am, oh my gosh, I wake up so happy because I'm around the purest energy, this the magical world where I can also use and I love using my imagination, pretend, like, how children play pretend. I love that. And I do that with them, and so I'm helping them to foster their imagination, to I'm encouraging them, and I'm planting the seeds of joy and happiness, that my joy and my happiness that I have, that I share. And so, yeah, oh my gosh, I become part of the family, and they love me. The children, like instantly, there's an instant connection, and I feel it's one of my missions to welcome them into the world and to be doing exactly what I'm doing, and I guess for the time that I've been doing it. But I have been feeling the call to start to think about moving on to other things, and I'm feeling a little sad about it, but it's okay, because if I'm not working with them one on one or doing whatever, I'm sure in the future there's going to be some sort of something there, because I cannot just not be around children or work with children or whatever. So, even if I had my own daycare or something,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah. How
Yeah.
long have you been doing it?
For so I moved here to the States in 2012. I think I started. So then I had so many jobs, different jobs. I was in events. I love events. Wedding coordinator, like, so did so many things. And then I worked with seniors, actually, with seniors with dementia,
Oh.
Alzheimer's, and other dementias. And I love that too. Oh my gosh, that was like so rewarding as well. And they are like children because, you know, they're losing their minds, they need help, they yeah. I mean, it's not funny, but it's, you
No,
know,
no, I know. Well,
I know,
hey,
I
my
know.
grandpa had Alzheimer's like my whole youth until he passed. I forgot
My
how
grandma
many years, how
too.
old I was, but I went through that, and the same. I relate. Like, yeah, there was a childlike thing to them. Like you're telling them
Yeah.
because I remember I would tell them like, no, grandpa like this or something. I remember telling them things like that. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
laugh like in a way to like it's
No, I know,
funny.
I know.
Hey, I went through it, so you know what I mean. Like I'm not just
No, I
laughing.
know, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Oh, I'm not telling you off. I'm no.
No, no, for in case
I laugh.
anyone's like watching and they're like,
Right.
oh, they think it's funny or something. Like, no, but
Yeah.
hey,
No,
I
I
went.
I also had the grandma with Alzheimer's too.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, for
Wow.
18 years.
Oh,
She
wow.
Yes, she lived with Alzheimer's for 18 years. Crazy. She became a vegetable. She wouldn't
Um,
move. Her muscles atrophiated. Do you say that in English?
I'm,
Atrophy.
atrophy, I think it's called.
At-
I don't know. I don't know what.
yeah, like
I don't
when
even know what
they
it means, but okay, that's what.
yeah, you can't move. Like her legs were just like that. She
Oh,
couldn't move. Nothing. And so yeah, she wasn't there. It's crazy. It's like I guess she was just soul maybe. It should but because she yes, she I would sing to her and she would kind of smile. But so yeah, some I guess her human side wasn't there anymore, but yeah, I'm pretty sure of course the soul was still there until she passed. But so yeah, so that was my experience with Alzheimer's, and that's why I went into that job, because I had that experience, so I knew I would be good.
mm,
And but I was the it's so funny because I was hired I was hired to be the like the entertainer for them, for the seniors. But then
yeah.
because of my personality, I ended up in every department.
Wow.
I was the receptionist because they wanted me to be the first person greeting the families, because I greet people with a smile, I talk, and so they wanted me there. Then I would go and help in the kitchen, and then I would and then I would serve the families, then go and do the whole entertaining. And so the families quickly started loving me, like, SiSSA, you're everywhere. We love it. You're here, you're there, you're in every department, and I'm like, I know. And it always yeah, it always happened like this. Everywhere I worked, I would always end up in every department. And I like just quickly, I know I talk about everything.
Ah, go ahead.
Air
Yeah,
side.
that's what I told you. Yeah, go ahead, handle it, handle it. No, I'm
It's
listening.
so funny. So
Yeah.
I lived in England for 5 years in London, and I had a job there where I moved from every department. And at one point, I wasn't hired per se. I think this is why I was also moving around, but they loved having me do all things, and having me all around the place. At one point, they said, we don't have anything else for you to do. But the owner wants you here because of your personality and because you wear colors. And so and
Mm.
so I just started serving coffee and making tea for everyone.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was like the joke of the place. Like, oh, SiSSA, she's just here to serve us coffee and tea.
Wow.
She's getting paid for just to be herself, basically.
And what kind of work was that? The same, like with.
Oh no, that was, oh my gosh, I was 19. That was it was called XLN Telecom, whatever. And they had a broadband department, which is internet.
Mm,
They had a sales department, they had customer service, all sorts of different departments, and I was trying to get hired to be a customer service at the time.
no.
But then I went through the finances department, I went through the sales, oh my gosh, yeah, they used me. And then they didn't have a job for me. Then I was serving coffee. Then they really said, now we can't have you anymore. But then they hired me. Yeah, crazy. But anyway, I digress. So that happened.
Uh,
And going all the way back to the children and to being childlike. um what was the original thing again? What was the original question?
no, no. We went from the Orishas to the. Well, let me
Yeah.
speak on that. That
Okay.
childlike thing, I always credit to my spirituality. Like, I
Okay.
feel like there's nothing kept from me. If anyone ever wants to know the secret to spirituality, you just said it. The having that childlike faith. Like, to me, I'm the same way. Everything's magical. Like, I literally believe the best thing I ever heard, and it was already after I already had this mind frame because I had been living like that. You know who Les Paul is? He's a motivational speaker. Les Paul. No, not Les Paul. That's the guitar guy. Duh.
Oh yeah.
Les Brown. Les Brown.
Yeah, yeah. No, never heard of him. The other one, yes.
Yeah. Les Brown. Les Brown. He's a motivational speaker. When I was working this job that I was very unhappy with, I was always listening to like things, right? Like, while I was loading trucks and stuff. Um, and so I was always listening to stuff, trying to get me to get out of there, right? And he said this story about, and I love this story. He says that there's a story about these two kids that were playing on the ice, and then one of them falls in the ice, and then the other one runs, breaks a branch from the tree, and I guess smashes the glass and gets his friend out. And when the paramedics and everyone get there, the fire trucks, they're like, how did this little puny guy, how was he able to get that branch, break the ice, and rescue his friend? And that there was an old guy there. And he's like, you want to know how he did it? I'll tell you how he did it. Because there was no one here to tell him that he couldn't. Yeah, and
No.
I love when I hear that story. Yeah, I love it because it's like exactly. And so when my spirituality, really, there was no one there to tell me. Like when I started trying to go to religions and this, I just wasn't. I was like kind of going my own way. So there was no one to tell me like it was impossible, right? So the childlike thing, and if you think about it, after it all made sense. What did Jesus say? See, like not even people that follow those religions will like realize that it's right there. To
Right.
enter, you have to be like a child to enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's
just
how you want to know how to
it.
connect spiritually into the kingdom of heaven. You have to be like a child. And
Uh,
that's what I did. That's why I have like they allow me to see everything because I really come at it. You have to have a pure heart.
yes.
You have
It's so
to.
true.
That's
It's
it.
so true.
And they'll know, just like you said, you can pick up on fake energies. You think they can't? You think the spirit world, like everybody
Oh
believes in
yeah.
God, you think they won't know if your heart is pure or
Oh
not?
yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
that's
Always
why I
know our
feel
intentions. Always.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if they allow me, you think I ever crumble when someone like if anyone looks at me like, oh, you're not doing things the right way spiritually, and I'm able to see all these things, you think I don't already know that they know, so I'm good. Obviously, they're giving me access to all this stuff, right? But that's the secret of everything. Like
Yeah.
I guess I would never have to make another podcast episode again trying to how people reach spirituality. That's it right there. That's the answer to everything. You have
Yes.
yeah, that childlike. Even Jesus said it, but everyone I think people miss that thing. You have to be like a child to enter into the kingdom of heaven, the spirit world, the whatever. Like, or that's a sure way. I don't. Obviously, there's all these other ways, right?
Yeah.
Or
I
maybe
think
even that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, no, I was just gonna say that and this is like my essence. Like it's I have always been this way. And so to me it's like effortless. Like it's who I am. And but people confuse things. Like when I say this, they're like, "Oh, you mean you're immature or you mean you can't
Mm,
connect with adults?" I'm like, "No. It's so different. Like I am very mature. I connect with anybody from any age because it's not about age, it's about energy and it's about, whatever. Um so I guess I came from wherever I came with this in me
mm,
because no matter what I have been through a lot, even at home. Like I haven't even touched that part. When I said my mom and my dad were very different, I didn't mention that I grew up in such a duality that was insane. Like
mm.
the light side of the force, the dark side of the force, all there. Yeah, I could have chose it. Yeah.
No,
I
I love the Star Wars references. All because I get it. Yeah, so
yes. And
that's
I
fun.
chose the light. I chose the light. But and so yeah, so it's it's always been there. It's always been there. And I understood. I understood this. I'm like, no matter what I go through, no matter what comes my way, no matter how low I am, it's still there intact. It's I guess my joy, my happiness, my the way that I'm so light, and the way that I see everything in a positive way, like children, like a child.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, but I love it.
No,
I love it. I
absolutely.
wouldn't want to be
Absolutely.
any other way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no. Someone wrote something in the chat. So I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No, I was being present. I'm just like, I just wanted to acknowledge them, say thank you. But it's funny because the autocorrect thing, like I wrote their name wrong because the stupid autocorrect thing corrected it. But if they're listening still, like, yeah, I wrote it wrong because the autocorrect.
I call it auto incorrect.
Yeah, I'm
It
like,
incorrects everything.
yeah, I kept trying over and over. That's why. See, I did again. It keeps. Oh, here we go. I could hit. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, okay. No, but sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't
Yeah.
mean to. I know
No,
you could. Yeah,
I'm
because
done.
it's distracting if like you're talking to someone and they're you're probably like, oh, he's not listening. But I was listening. I was listening.
Oh no,
So
it's okay.
yeah, yeah. No, but absolutely. Like that's like you said, having that essence. It reminded me like a story. Like when I was little, right? I was that way, right? I had the essence, right? And then whatever. I was around like that, a rough environment, right? Around here, there was like a lot of like gangs and street stuff. And, I would get beat up and all this stuff. And then you have to turn tough, right? And then one
Well,
day, like,
you don't
oh, go ahead.
have, but
Huh?
yes, you said you have to turn tough. You
No,
don't have to, but yes, I understand. No,
well,
I
and
understand.
to me, I have to, because it's one or the other. Either you crumble and you
It
let people
hardens
bully
you.
you.
Yes,
And one day you see how now kids end up going and shooting the whole school because,
yes.
like, hey, like, see, in our time, when I was growing up, nah, like, at one point, either you crumble and you're gonna explode worse, or you learn to fight back. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how it was.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
well, at least for me, right? At one point, I remember snapping. At one point, like probably in my teenage years, being in high school, when I said, you know what, I would rather die than be afraid. So and people like sometimes people pulled out guns on me, and I ran towards them, or I was like, I'm gonna take like. So I went completely nuts. So that's why where I'm getting to. So I really went to because it just depends the amount of bullying, right? Like, and so yeah. But then this was the good thing. One day, out of nowhere, like my mom, I don't know what she was saying, and she was like telling me like, and I was just smiling. I didn't care, right? And she's like, "Oh, what happened to you?" She like, when you were little, you were the happiest kid. You were the happiest, and she even slapped me, right? She slapped me, and I was just like smiling, right? It was funny. It was like one of those good slaps, like a movie slap, like bam. And
Oh,
like it snapped me into like,
right.
he's right. When I was little, I was like this ball of joy. So, and then it's like almost like I had a life review. Like I saw everything, all the people that pointed guns at me, all the beating up, all the stuff, and it was like, wait a second, they stole that from me. I want it back. And then
Oh,
came the long journey of, yeah, because
finding
it's a
yourself.
journey. Yeah, you have to unlearn all
Oh
the stuff
yes.
that they poisoned you, like all the. Imagine remembering that you were a ball of joy. Like how
Uh,
we are right now, like the way you are, even like that, right? Like happy, like that was like I was like, wait, that was me. I was happy, and all, even cops, where we live, like cops, police, they hit me before they I never got arrested, or nothing. They just, hey, let's hit this guy real quick, or let's point guns at this guy's head. So I had like all these things. So like where I grew up, yeah, like. Because sometimes people fight, no, the cops, like, they're good and this and that. But where I grew up, you know, like I saw that, right? I saw the for no reason, right? Like I didn't, like my mom would come home from work and the neighbors would be like, oh yeah, they had him in the back of a cop car over there.
oh
And
gosh.
I was never arrested. Sometimes they'll take us far and they'll make us walk home for blocks. Like
Ah,
what was that? It's like,
wow.
yeah, just maybe they were bored. I don't know, but
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
through all the things, everything, and it's building hate. Even that, right? I would see cops and I would feel rage, almost like that, like some kind of like something, just for the amount of times they had messed with me, like it was like rage, right? So they're causing all these traumas. So all that, not to like make it all like, but just to say, like after I had to find my way back to that joy. And I was
Right.
like, I couldn't let whatever happened win, right? Like to me, that's how I looked at it. Like, nah, I'm happy. Like, damn, like, you know what
Uh,
I mean? Like,
yeah.
what
It
happened?
never
Like, yeah,
left you. It never left you. It was always there. It's not like, yeah, you just tapped back into that energy because it's,
yeah.
yeah, it's energy and it's, yeah,
But I
it,
get the traumas. Anyone that has to find it again, it
right.
almost feels impossible when you're trying to, because that there's all these triggers every time. It's like
Oh,
becoming on the defensive, right?
right.
It's like a dog. Have you ever seen a dog? Like, I have a dog now
Yeah.
that was very, I guess it came from a shelter or something, and it was very like,
Mistreated.
yeah, before. And so every time I would get near this dog, even the people that owned it before, this dog it would growl at you, right? And it had a cage that it would just go inside the cage and just growl, like if you would get close to the thing. And now that I have it, wow, this dog is happy. It has, if you want to speak about it, wow, it goes crazy. It starts running. See, it barked, and I think it heard me. So it goes crazy. Like you can't even imagine the amount of energy. And it doesn't seem like the
That's
same
the
dog.
dog that I need.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Bring
yeah,
him to me.
it's amazing. No, I have two dogs and both of them are insane. But I thought my dog had energy like I've never seen in my whole life. And now this
Yeah.
other one, it's like all happy now and it goes crazy. It starts doing like these weird like little flip things. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? And it's a big dog, so sometimes I feel like it's gonna take out your knees. So it's like, hey, what the hell? Like it just goes crazy. But yeah, all that. So I digress now, right? So
Yeah.
I know I went on into that. Just that, but it's important, right? The whole child thing. If you
Oh,
really
it
want to learn
is.
about like tapping in spiritually, I think that's the quest of everything, right? If you could get back to that childlike state and I don't know.
Cultivate.
So I should have asked you like for example with your mindset coach, right? That's what it's
Uh-huh.
like. Is that one of the things you aim to do to try to have people reconnect with that kind of essence or
That is important. Yes. I like to help people understand that to tap into certain energies to set to become to change your habits. You have to there's so much there's so many layers to things, but I like to say first of all you have to practice detachment.
mm,
You have to practice detachment from things, from people, from your emotions and feelings, from the thoughts. It's all about detaching. And because then you're once you do that, once you practice detaching and you get to a point where you're like, okay, I understand that I'm not my feelings, I'm not my emotions, I'm not my thoughts. So then you stop feeding yourself certain thoughts, so then you start making space to go back to tapping into a certain energy that you remember when you were a child, how you like for instance, I love dancing, and when I post my dancing videos, and I it was all of 2020. I was very sporadically posting dancing videos. And then 2020, I just started posting a few more, and people were loving it and thanking me and whatever. And so I, random people, strangers that I don't know how they would find me, but they would like send me beautiful messages saying, you just sent me straight back to my favorite memory of when I was a child and I used to dance
mm,
with mom in the kitchen and whatnot. And I would read those and I would cry and I'd be like, oh,
ah,
and so I'm like, I need to do this. I need to continue doing this. But I never meant it I never meant it for it to become a thing, and it did. It became a thing. Like people would expect it, and so it got to a point where I was like, but not for all of 2020. I did it all of 2021, but then recently, I guess, as I started to also shift into the person that I am now, I felt like I want to keep sharing my joy and my happiness, because I feel like I'm naked when I'm dancing because I think I was born dancing. I love dancing. It's like yeah, it's like I don't walk, I dance. Like if you see me in New York, I'm always like dance walking anywhere. Yeah, I say New York because I walk a lot there, but it's one of my favorite things to do. Going to New York, get lost, and I lose myself and I find myself. I lose and I find, and I'm walking and I do more than 20,000 steps. Like I love, yeah, I take the train all the way to the north and I walk all the way. It's like almost 2 hours or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it takes me almost 2 hours to, but not all the way up to the north. Just all close to Central Park, the tip of Central Park, the beginning, and then I go all the way down. But whatever. So so I love doing that. And why was I saying that? I always jump from one thing to another, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
Right. No, no, that's why at first I asked you, like, because I was like, you sound like a Gemini too, right? Because I'll do that all the time, right?
I
Like,
have Gemini placing
oh, okay,
placements. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
one or two, but I do.
okay, then it probably, yeah, it makes sense. What? Okay, well, let's
See you also. I take us on so many journeys that we lose them.
No, it's good because it makes me feel good because usually I feel like I'm the one that does that, so it's nice to have someone else do that. Then I don't feel bad. Um, so let's talk about some of your, like, what kind of things have you
Oh, the
experienced?
mindset. I
Oh,
think
okay. You want to
I
go
think
back
it
to
was.
that?
No, I don't. No, no.
Okay.
It's okay.
Well, I was gonna ask you about like the spiritual thing. Like what kind of things what kind of
Yeah.
things have you experienced like spiritually where like some things that you're just like, whoa, that really made you let you know that yeah, this is real. Like I made you not doubt like anything spiritual.
Oh, yeah. So, so that I guess that takes me back to the point that I was making before, which is great. I think we'll do this a lot while we're talking. Oh yeah, that reminds me. So I always wanted to have a deeper connection. Like, oh, I want to hear them. Like, why can't people hear their guides or whatever? Why can I not? You know, or anything else like a super direct connection. But
Mm.
I guess I don't have that yet. I don't know if I will develop it or not, but I know I have the potential, but um for me, it's this intuition that is so strong. And intuition is a connection to source. And the being able to read energy so well. I'm never wrong. And it goes hand in hand, right? I'm never wrong. Never ever.
Right.
So and I always have confirmations. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I guess I don't know, growing up I could see spirits,
Oh,
and my
okay.
house was built on this, so it used, I guess it was a huge farm, and they had indigenous people would do their practices, and there was a lot of the candomblé, the orishas practicing, and so very spiritual, very uh deep spiritual grounds. And so my house was built on those grounds, and I could see every now and again, my parents also, we would always talk about it, whatnot. um so that would happen when I was younger. I would go, I'm not religious, but I was raised Catholic. But my parents never made me go to church, but my neighbors would go to church all the time. So I would go with them. Because
No.
I'm someone who, I'm not a Gemini, but I am very, very intellectual too, very love information. I'm like, I love exploring things, and I always like, I have friends from all walks of life, I guess
Oh.
because I attract everybody. And so and so it's great because I would take the chance to learn different things. Like I've been to Mormon, the Mormon, yeah, I've mingled with Mormons, I've mingled with whatever, like everybody, just to learn a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and to come up with my own this decision of what I feel is right for me, because I do what I want. I have always done what I want. I might ask people's opinion, but I'm just asking. I don't care. It's me, my opinion, and what I want to do. But sometimes it's, because I guess sometimes it helps talking things through, because I'm a woman. Women do that. Women do that. And so I can't help it. It's we just want to talk things through. We just want to sit there and just blah blah blah. And so yeah. So and so uh I remember one time I went to church with my neighbors, and I was like, okay, so I need a sign. I need a sign that Jesus is real, that this is real. And I
How,
looked, yeah.
how old were you? How old were you when you were already like thinking that?
Oh, I was young.
Oh wow,
I don't know, yeah,
that's oh no, but go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. That's
yeah, 8, 9, yeah, like
oh wow, you're
between,
already like I need a sign.
yeah, give
That's
me a
fine. That's crazy. No, go ahead, go
sign.
ahead.
And so I looked at the altar, right? And they had those candles, but they weren't real candles. They were the
Like the
candles,
electric ones.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they were all lit. And I'm like, okay, so if this is real, make one of those go off. And I just kept staring at it, and I'm like, just make it go off. And in my mind, I'm talking to God. I'm like, just make it go off, make it go off. Like, and I really wanted it. And all of a sudden it did. The one that I was looking at, it just went off. And I froze. And I didn't say anything. I didn't continue talking. I just like, okay. Like,
Mm.
oh. And so that was my first thing that ever happened that was a real confirmation. I was like, I'm not making this up. And I did not make that. So it wasn't me just staring at it. And the one that I was looking, and nothing else happened. Just yeah. And so other so many other things happened throughout my life, but I guess one of I'll give you a very recent one.
Okay.
um so in New York, like I said, I can study the map, and I love studying maps. I'm 41, so I'm from the era where there was no phones, it's maps. And I remember like going with my parents, like I was always the navigator. I could have invented GPS actually, because I could go somewhere and know exactly how to get there again. Like I go somewhere once, I know how to take anybody there, or I would read maps or whatever. I could have, but anyway, so I could study the map of New York and know everything, but I don't, because then it would take away my game that I do, which is going in and getting lost and getting found. And so of course, I know the main streets and whatnot, but yeah, but the fun is in getting lost. And so recently, I was like, okay, so if I am truly on a twin flame journey, um, yeah. So I want confirmation. I want confirmation. Just anything. Just show me something. Take me somewhere. Show me anything, and also um, send me the number 444. I don't know. So I asked for two things, right? 444. Yeah. So then I go to New York with this friend of mine. He's a Brazilian guy. He just moved in with his boyfriend recently. He just came from Brazil. And so I'm basically the only Brazilian he knows so far. And his birthday is the same as mine, September 25th. When we met, we're like, oh my God, twins, and we just immediately had this beautiful connection. And so we go out a lot in New York, and he loves my game. He loves getting lost in New York now, and walking and whatever. And so he went with me, and he's like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, you know me, there's no plan. Let's just I'm gonna allow my heart to take me where it wants to take me. And he didn't know. I haven't even talked to him about this twin flame thing. He doesn't know anything about that. You're the first person or second maybe that I'm talking to about this. But anyway, so I'm like, he didn't know about my questions to God.
Mm.
So I knew, but you know, one of those things you ask and you forget. And so we were walking and we just went in circles and we just went everywhere up and down, and then I ended up buying things and whatnot, and then we were hungry, and I'm like, okay, let's go find a place to eat wherever. And he's like, yeah, wherever. And then we're walking, and then I don't know, I felt this thing, this pull, and I look right, and I'm like, oh, let's eat right there. And at first it didn't hit me at all. I didn't recognize it. And when we walked in and we sat down, I was like, I had chills all over my body. I was like, what? And he's like, what? I'm like, oh my God, this is a very special place for me. And he's like, why? I'm like, I can't tell you, but it is. It was the day that I met my twin flame. We met to go to an event, and I was kind of on a date with his best friend. But his best friend invited him. So then we met. And so we went to this event, and then we went to this place to eat. And I was there. And I recognized the place. And so
Mm.
confirmation number one. My heart took me, and I had no idea where that place was. Cause when I was out with them, it was nighttime. They know New York really well, like the back of their hands. And so they took me there. And when I'm with people and I'm talking, I'm not paying attention to where I'm going. And so yeah, so that was confirmation number one. And then I look at my phone and 444. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
that's funny.
I'm like, okay, I'm on this journey. I am. Okay, all right. And so yeah, this is a recent
Yeah, no,
happening.
that's amazing. Oh, real quick, Teresa asked if you're a Scorpio or Scorpio rising.
I have Scorpio. I don't
Oh,
know, but not a Scorpio and not a rising. The rising is Leo.
I'm a
Yeah.
Leo rising.
Ah, nice.
That's why. See, we're very like blue. Like I think that even is probably more than probably the Gemini thing. Like we're
Yes.
comfortable, I guess, being out there.
Yes.
That's
And I
funny.
wear I wear my mane, very lioness.
Well, I don't have, but at one point I had my beard like that, and it was very like lion like, right? My
Yeah.
beard, but I trimmed it. So where is your Scorpio placement?
That's the thing. I need to know this. I need to get to know this better. I
Okay,
don't know,
okay,
but I
that's
do
fine.
have it. I do have it. And I don't know which I don't
Oh, and she said your sun sign. Oh no, you say you're Libra.
Libra, rising is Leo, and moon is Capricorn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
could be stubborn then sometimes, eh?
No,
Oh, well, I don't know about the moon. Moon is more like what? Cause
moon is
Capricorn.
emotions. Is
So
emo
what?
how yeah.
So
I
what are
don't
your? What is a Capricorn moon? What is a Cap? Okay, well, Teresa, do you know what a Capricorn moon? What exactly does that say about someone?
Yeah,
'Cause she
but
says
this is if
she
I
does
have
astrology.
my birth time right, because now my mom is gone, my dad is gone. The lady that was my nanny, I don't think she remembers, but on my birth certificate it says 2:30 a.m. I think.
No, but the time only affects your sun, your rising. So
Oh,
that's the only,
really?
yeah.
Oh,
So
perfect.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
your
Ah,
time. So maybe
ah.
you're
Then
not a
I
Leo
am.
rising,
No,
or
then
you are.
I am. I am a
Oh,
Leo. I am.
okay
It
then.
makes sense because the other one was something that didn't make sense, which
Oh,
was
she
yeah.
says your emotions are well guarded, that you're career focused. That's what Capricorn moon is. Are your emotions guard? Are you someone that guards your emotions?
No, so no, I'm
Really?
not.
That's what she said. A Capricorn moon is.
Maybe. No, maybe. That's one thing that I need to learn about myself. Because I always thought that because I am so easygoing, so open, and I am, yeah, ah, that's a good point. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have forgotten about this. This is one of the things that I learned from this journey, which is I had to learn to receive love as much as I give love. And I had to learn to speak about my feelings. Yes, so
Oh.
it's true. So it is. It's guarded. How funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, she says that time can affect your moon sign.
but
So
yeah,
okay. So I guess I was wrong. I stand corrected then. Yeah.
yes. But it is. I think I do in a sense when it's romantic related. Yeah, I always thought. Yeah, I always like I say
Oh.
things, but yeah, but when it's I guess I yeah, like for instance, my twin flame, I never ever said anything, and I always wanted to, but I never said anything, and he never said
Oh.
anything either. It's
Ah.
all unsaid, just
Interesting.
felt.
See, and with the person that I was dealing with, I was open about what I felt and thought, and I felt like I had never been that open with anybody, kind of thing, right? Like something like that, like, and they were very like they wouldn't spit it out, right? Stuff like that, and so it was very frustrating, I think, for me or something like that. I don't even want to talk about it though. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it
yeah.
feels
But
icky.
yeah, no, aw.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Like after like I no, I actually I'm glad I went through that. I don't think I had ever gone through that.
Right.
And so I'm glad because it's kind of sad. Like I see like, like all I never really was like if something ended, I was never someone to like feel anything really. Like I if someone wasn't like there for me, I didn't mind. Like it's almost like the universe would on purpose do it to me. Like if someone, let's say I was with someone and they were playing games or something like that, all right, cool. I'll go on my way. And it's like I'll meet someone instantly, right?
Right.
Like, so it was weird. I was like, that's crazy. It was like, okay, I guess I was meant to move on, right? Because it'll be like that. Like, not that I was always meeting people, but it would be funny. Like if I was with someone that then I would like oh, and it was actually that happened with that person that I thought was like the twin flame person when I finally was like, that's it. Yeah, I met someone. And it was
Mm.
just like, it wasn't like someone, wow, all of a sudden my throat.
Throat
That's
chakra.
someone's probably watching and they're like, shut up.
Bed. We're bringing up a lot of things here. We're
Yeah,
throwing
no,
up
no.
the heavens.
I don't know if you ever seen like when they're doing tarot readings and they're like, oh, and they're like,
Yeah.
damn. They're like, someone
Yeah.
doesn't want me saying nothing for you or something. And I'm drinking water, so it's not like my throat's all dry or something. It's like someone was like, you know what I mean? Someone don't be sending me no like
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. Oh, see, Teresa said she's been in my situation, so okay, that's good.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
See?
So
It's
it's all good. Yeah, we all have our little journey with. I'm glad though.
yeah.
See, even that I learned about all that twin flame stuff. I got a song out of it, so that was
Yeah.
cool. Like so. There's always bright sides, to the
Oh, there is. Oh,
yeah,
there
yeah,
is. There's
yeah.
always. Oh, you're talking to the queen of always seeing a bright side. There is always a bright side. There is. There is.
Absolutely. Even if we don't see it at the moment. So if anything, yeah, that's good to convey that to people, like anyone watching this that might see. I still feel like I swear it's so weird. Like I'm sure I'll dream and watch. Like
You
I'll dream
will.
like they'll show me
The
like if someone
contract
was,
is coming back.
huh?
The contract is coming
No, no,
back.
I ripped that
Like,
contract. Oh,
hey,
crazy.
let's revisit this.
No, no, no. Because you know what's funny is like I noticed that even a lot of things you were talking about, I had mentioned like not in the last interview I did, but the last one I posted. It was funny. You said something else too, and we had talked about that. Damn, I already forgot. There was something you said that I was like, oh, I could relate to that. And oh well, let me just say, like when you said about the candles.
Ah, okay.
Once, like, oh, the candle that turned off. Once I did that, like, I had already experienced tons of things, but I was just like, I was gonna go see someone that I was seeing, but I was already feeling like I wasn't supposed to see them anymore.
Mm.
And so I went. They wanted me to go visit them. You know, they live like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes away. So I start driving and I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. If you don't want me to go, turn off three streets light right now, and
Wow.
three, doof, doof, doof. I was like,
Oh,
no way. Yeah. But guess what? I still went.
of course. Of course.
But no, I was like right outside her apartment, right? And she calls me, hey, where are you at? And all she had to do was open the window and see that I was right in front of her apartment or house. I think it was like, well, I think it was an apartment or house. I don't know what it was. Like a small, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if it was apartment
Like
units
a
or what. But
studio,
anyways,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah, all she had to do was look outside. And then I was like, you know what? Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to go. And then she's like, and I just like hung up. And I turned around the car and I took off back home. Well, because at that point, I mean, I
No,
had a
yeah.
delayed reaction, but hey, the spirit world, they answered. Like, come on, like they
Yeah.
turned off 3 lights. Like,
Yeah.
see, you know the feel. Because if you say that to people, they might be like, "What? That sounds crazy." But the
Yeah.
same way you felt, like seeing that, like, what? I know that just happened. So
Yes.
that happened to me before. So it's
Yeah.
funny that
Things
you
that we
brought.
cannot make up. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It
exactly.
happens. It's true. It's
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what else then? I guess we covered. So going forward, then what else are you looking to do? Like, are you looking to try to connect more spiritually? Like, are you looking to continue with your mindset coach business? Like, how?
It's funny because um I'm on a life path 9.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's
I'm not too familiar with the life path. What is that? Because I'm familiar with nines, endings, because my birthday is June 9th, right? The 9th. So
it.
I'm
Oh yeah,
I'm
it's
familiar with nine, and nines always appear to me like a lot, right? So nines are very. But I don't know
9.
what the life path 9 is. So what's one of the things? Like, is it the same like endings and stuff or?
So it seems like it's the end of the cycle, and from
Mm.
here you just go back to
Oh.
to 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. So life path 9, I guess it just means that I'm here to serve. I'm here to go through a lot in life to get to a point
Oh wow.
where then things start to ease up, and then I'm able to integrate all the lessons to become my higher self, and then start helping people in the way that God intends me to help. Because I don't know, like I don't my in my existence, it doesn't even make sense if I'm not helping people somehow.
Mm.
You know? Like I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be helping. Yeah, like I am. I don't know, like I'm someone who, for me, it's a no-brainer. Like what happened to me today. I was at the supermarket, and I happened to it just really slipped my mind. I have because I my bank account, I was just having problems with this bank, and I'm like, I'm done with
Oh.
this bank, and so I'm gonna go and take my business elsewhere. So then I did that, transferred all my funds to a different bank, and I try to not use credit cards because I have been through a bankruptcy before. I'm still rebuilding from that, so I'm, yeah, and so yeah, you and I would have to do like a 10,000 podcasts for you for me to cover everything.
Hey,
I've
we
gone
might.
through so much, but
Yeah.
anyway.
No, but
So
I did a bankruptcy when I was young, and so my credit's good now. But
right,
yeah, I went through all that. But it was like the best thing I ever did. So
it
I don't.
is.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah, it was great. It was great. I'm glad I did it. Fairly young. I was 25 when I did it because
Oh,
the
that's
bills
good.
were, yeah, I was just like crazy. I got in a car wreck and then all my bills went. But yeah, go ahead, continue. I don't want to
Yeah,
interrupt.
and so yeah. So then basically, I have like I'm using one credit card. And I have it's after the bankruptcy, they give you very little credit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not too bad, but then because it's little, it goes quick, especially single mother, everything is on me, blah blah blah. So yeah. So if I don't have a lot of control, I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Mm.
So then I have to be careful. But anyway, so I have this one credit card, and the credit card is not cleared because here in the States you pay for it, and then 10 days later you can use it. In Brazil, you pay for it, you can use it. They
Oh
want
wow,
you to use it.
that's
Here's
funny.
like, wait 10 days. If you need money, go, I don't know, do something. But anyway, so no credit card, no debit card because I haven't received it yet. And so I had
Oh,
to, and I luckily get paid in cash. So but the cash was home. And I only have $50 and the bill was 110. I'm like, I have $50. Can I Zelle someone? Zelle is instant, right? You Zelle, I send you 50, you get 50 in a second. And so I'm like, can I Zelle someone? And they said no. They're like, no. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I live 15 minutes away. I have to drive 15 to get home, get the cash, 15 back, 15 then. And everybody, nobody, no compassion, nothing. No. I'm like, okay.
but you know
And
what? Now I feel bad because someone asked me that once. I didn't know what Zao was though or nothing, so
oh,
I was like, nah, sorry. Like, so that's happened to me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I was like,
you
what
can
scam are they
ask.
trying to pull? Yeah, yeah.
You can say, look, I want to help, but I need to know, is this an instant transfer? Because I'm not gonna sit here waiting for the money. You know? You ask. And so, but yeah, but because they said yeah, and they said no, and I was like, it's okay, whatever, I'll go home. But I was just worried because I had the live with you at 7:30. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna make it at 7:30. That's when I sent the message or thought that I did to you to push it to 8:30. So then yeah, so then I had to go back home, whatever. So I'm all of this just to say that to me it's a no-brainer. If someone is in front of me and that happens, yes, Zelle me. Yes. Or if you can't even Zelle me, give me your number, get my number, you can give me the money another day. Or it's happened so many times in front of me, someone would buy coffee or whatever, the card wouldn't go through, I would pay for them. Money, I think money is very happy in my life because it flows. Yeah, money wants to be free, and with me it's like so free. So I have no attachments to money. I've been a millionaire. I've had in Brazil, not in America. I wish in America, but in Brazil, used all the money, gave my son the best childhood ever, like not materialistic things, experiences. He's been to
Mm.
Europe. He's been to Europe. He's been to, like, this kid has traveled. He's 14 years old, but he's traveled every experience under the sun in California. We had annual passes to Disney. We've been to Disney World, everything. So then, money is flowing, right? It's like free. SiSSA, let's go. And so, but of course, if I had a little bit more vision at the time, I would have invested, and but I didn't. But it's okay because I had to learn that lesson. I had to, because I grew up in a wealthy family. And
Oh,
yeah, so I didn't, I had no care in the world, no nothing. I didn't wish for anything. And so I never had a debt in my life. It was only when I turned 35 that I learned how the rest of the world actually lives. And so I was already humble. My parents, they had money, but they were humble. You couldn't tell that. It's just having the money was just, you know, a means to an end, or something that brought comfort to the family. We could travel, we could eat wherever we wanted, whatever, but nothing. My dad helped people build homes and whatever. So very humble, very of service. So I learned that. So I was humble already. I never acted differently just because I came from that family or whatever. But this whole thing, going through having a lot and having nothing, because I got to a point where it was nothing. It was like, do I put gas in, or do I buy food? It's like, oh shit. Oh, this is how it real life is. And so it true I got to a point where I had to ask for help, for money. And my God, I remember I was crying, like, when you cry and it feels like you have a thing here, you're crying and you're trying to speak and it doesn't come out properly. I was like, I need help and I need, money to pay for my rent, and it wasn't coming out. And I was like, just say it. Like, so yeah, having to go through all of that, asking for help, asking for money, asking for please. Yeah. And so I don't even remember the point.
I don't.
They're watching me. They're never gonna watch me again.
Nah. Hey, I
And they
think no, it's important to see that we all go through these things. See, like
yeah.
you're like that, right? Like you know what it was to. Not a lot of people will hear those stories, right? For someone to know what it is to have all that, like, you know what I mean, like money and then not have it, kind of thing, you know. Like to
Yeah.
me, it was interesting because I think, like my dad, he'll share like when he was little, he had money, but then when we were growing up, like we grew up, our family, like the first place we lived was like a place that it was almost like a garage, like our whole family, and like not even the size of a garage, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
it was like he wanted to be his own man. Like he didn't, when he came from Mexico to the US, he didn't take anything from, his parents or nothing. It was like, so, it's
Wanted
funny
to
to
make,
hear like even when he would say like, oh, we had maids, but I'm like, what? Like, like
yeah.
we are like, oh shit, like I don't know you know what I mean? So it's interesting. Where everyone has their journey for whatever, whatever reason it goes the way it
Oh yeah.
does, right? Uh, but
Yes.
I don't regret it because that, right? See, like I know for sure, like that, like I know what it is to work, jobs that I wouldn't even wish on my worst enemy for money. So it made me value it more. Like, wow, if it was this hard to earn, well, I'm not gonna waste it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like on stuff like just stuff like that, right? But then
Right.
yeah, but I think like there is a thing like that, like money. I do believe is free flowing, right? Because I've noticed like there were
Yeah.
times when I was carefree, and then that money would just land on my lap, right? Like it was
Yeah.
like, what the hell, like this is weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there is some
Happens
kind of
that way.
yeah, I think there is some kind of universal, what
Law.
is it? Law. Yeah, there you go. Law.
Yes.
Exactly. There's
There
something
is.
to it. Yeah. Not to
Absolutely.
say like, yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to just, so if anyone listening, don't just go like throw your money
Oh
away
yeah.
like
No. No.
and be like,
No.
wow, you guys said it was gonna come back to me or something like that. Nah.
No.
But
It takes. Yeah. It takes a certain mindset. It takes. Yeah. Because that's the thing. I. It's funny because um I like now, as I self reflect and I look back, I see how in how coherent my whole life has been, because it has, and how, why, like, I'm starting to understand why and how everything happened, the way that it happened to get me to where I am now.
hmm,
So being born into a wealthy family, like a family of lawyers, having everything that I could, that I could want, and going to the best schools, whatever. This is how I know English, because I went to an American school in Brazil.
oh,
Yeah, so I grew up speaking English, so it's my second language, but it's basically kind of like right there with my first, because I was 3 when I started speaking English.
hmm.
So
And you
yeah,
speak
but
Portuguese, right?
yeah, yeah.
Spanish too or just Portuguese?
Spanish too, but
Oh,
not,
okay.
yeah, but not as fluently yet as I want, as I will be. I will be. I have to be. I love Spanish.
Hmm.
Uh, and so I guess, so being born in that family, and then having all that I had, and being brought up like so carefree, like I don't know, if I messed up with money or whatever, my mom was there backing me up. Like, or if when I left home, when I went to live in London, if I needed help, I knew I could just ask. And so it was the security of that. It's unbelievable. And it's something that, it's not that I took it for granted, but when you're in that situation, you're not thinking about it as someone else or would. You know what I mean? Someone who would actually appreciate it more. I was very appreciative, and I never took it for granted, but I don't think I was as appreciative as I could have been,
Mm.
because obviously I was in it. And so I was in the comfortable in a comfortable situation. I was there, not having to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So then you're not also thinking, wow, how lucky is this, you know? And so um all of that came later. I was like, when after having it all, losing it all, now having to rebuild and completely on my own. And so I'm like, oh, okay, now I have all the understanding of all the responsible, how to be more responsible, how to be more careful with money and all that stuff. However, at the same time practicing the non-attachment to it. Just because I had it and I lost it and now I'm rebuilding doesn't mean, oh my gosh, I'm gonna keep all the money that I can keep, or but I'm not spending as I used to either. But I understand that you have to have a healthy relationship with money. Otherwise, it doesn't flow. Nothing flows in your life if you don't have a good relationship with yourself and with the object or person or whatever. So yeah. But anyway.
No, no, no. No, no. I know,
Yeah.
because I'm sure, like, but just to, I guess, drive a spiritual point to that, I guess it's
Right.
like I know, like, for example, yeah, we live in this thing. Like, even me, when I was trying to do more spiritual things, and I would get like, well, damn, I need to be working, making money, and this and that. Somehow, when I was doing those things, something always took care of me. So even in those things, I
Right.
think as long as you're doing what you're kind of being guided to do, you're always gonna be taken care of. Because that's when it would be money will fall like randomly, right? Like it'd be like, what? But not
It,
like just, oh, free money, like work, right? Like I'd get this job and it'd pay good, and I'd be like, whoa, like where did this come
it
from? You
can
know?
it can come from people sometimes or something. Yeah. Like the help that I had, it came to me. How crazy. So, oh, this is a good thing to say, to mention. I don't know, but when I did have money, I and my will to always be of service, and it is one of my passions too. I love helping. I would help people, like, oh, they would need money. Okay, I would, lend money, whatever. Da, 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 da. When I needed, the people who helped me were none of those people that I helped when I had
No.
money. Three complete strangers, three guys that used to follow me online. They helped me. We just started talking, whatever, just friendship. And I told my story. Oh, I can help you. Do you need help? I can help you. Like the three of them, complete strangers. They don't know each other. They didn't know me, and they, like, two of them, they said, I will lend you. One gave me, the other two said, I will lend you the money, and they totally trusted me to pay back, and I will pay back. I haven't yet, and it's been like, this was in 2020, but we're still in touch, we're friends, and they know that I'm rebuilding, they know that I'm that's happening. um and so, but that's crazy, isn't it? Three strangers, complete strangers. So that's if that's not God sent, like what is? Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I like I
just when
think
I
that's
need it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it always happens like that if you're following the path that you're supposed to be following. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
absolutely. Absolutely. So let me see what else. Is there anything else that we haven't? Oh, let me ask you this about the music. So when you were little, were you singing with your dad or anything like that? Or
So
you said your
dad,
dad was a musician?
Yeah, so dad, no, not a musician. Dad's hobby was music, and he was a
Oh.
composer,
Oh, okay.
but not he couldn't play any instrument, and he could not sing to save his life.
Did they ever release anything with the stuff he composed or?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, send me some. I want to hear it.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, I
Yeah.
will. Of course. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I just would always sing. Always, always, always. I grew up singing. I would put I write, like I said, I would write plays, and I would act out the plays to all the people in the house. I grew up with maids too. I don't like saying this a lot because people get that so wrong, but yes, like your dad, I guess. But so I would perform. They would be in the kitchen, and I would be performing. And so I love singing, love, love, love singing. I grew up saying I'm gonna be a singer, and my mom would die. Like my mom would be like, "Oh, everybody else wants to be a doctor or whatever, and you want to sing?" I'm like, "Yes," and she's like, "But there's so many singers in the world." I'm like, "So." There are so many doctors too, and so many lawyers
Right?
too. Yeah. Oh, she would. Oh, I couldn't come up with anything. My mom would just, the dark side, the dark side. She
Hey,
was
no, no. Hey, believe me, I went through that. What sign was your mom?
Sagittarius. I
Oh,
love,
really? And they're like
I love,
so they're
I love
usually
that.
very like
My mom, I don't
that's
know.
interesting.
Sagittarius from a reptilian, reptilian planet.
That's crazy. Yeah, because usually yeah,
It
like
made me, yeah, for the longest time, I thought that I would never like a Sagittarius. I'm like, I don't, when people, I'm a Sagittarius, I'm like, oh shit. But then oh my gosh, they changed that image completely for me. Completely.
mhm,
I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually do love
yeah.
Sagittarians.
Well, remember I told you like the longest
Sagittarians.
no, well, the longest podcasting I remember I told you I did that was with my friend. She's a Sagittarius,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was like I
I
mean,
love them. They're
yeah,
amazing.
very
Yeah.
yeah, very happy go lucky kind of
Right?
optimistic. Yeah, that's the thing. They're very optimistic too. Usually, well,
Yeah.
I have you know what I have met a few like questions. So I guess everything it just depends, right? I have met a few questionable ones.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
I grew up with one.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I got you. I got you. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so you've actually written songs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I write, well, not songs. I write poetry, but I don't think it could actually, yeah, and put music. Yeah, no, I don't think
Oh,
so.
okay.
My dad had this. He was fantastic. He, like you, he could write, just write. It would just come to him, and on the spot too, like,
Mm,
and beautiful, beautiful things. And so he he just had, like, he could feel or whatever, imagine the melody. And so he would write in according to that, and it turned out beautiful. But yeah, like, he had his musician partners or whatever who would, is that what you say in English? Put music on the song or whatever, create the music, whatever.
yeah, I guess play. I mean, that's
But yeah, I don't, like in Brazil we say you put music to the poetry.
oh
Like, música a poesia. I don't
oh
know.
wow. I like
Yeah.
that. That sound I
Yeah.
gotta learn Portuguese.
Yes, yes.
Música. Música.
Mu
That's
Música, yeah.
that's how you say it. Música. I like it.
Música, yeah.
Uh, no, yeah,
And
I wanna hear it for sure. I wanna hear what your dad put together.
for sure, yeah. And so, yeah, and so I guess, I always sang, and I wanted to be a singer, and then I gave up on that, and now I'm like, I am a natural born artist.
Mm,
I love singing, I love dancing, I love writing, I love um acting. And so I just thought that maybe I can't do that. I need to push that aside, because I guess my mom, in my mind, like, yeah, that duality. My dad was like, you can do anything. oh, you need to share your voice with the world. Your voice is so beautiful. And my mom was like, oh, but your voice is just another voice. And so, you know, ah, yeah, it was crazy growing up. But yeah, and I saw that this duality replaying in my life in on so many different ways. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. No, I went through something similar, like with my mom, right? Like, you know, but I laugh at it because to me it's like, but she told once I asked her, I was like, "Hey, mom, do you think I could make it with the music?" And she looks at me and she goes, "Sorry, but no," like that. And I was like, okay, like, so it was like, but I love my mom to death, right? So what my revenge was, I have a song I did with my mom, right?
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I took her to the studio and we did a song like she's singing in Spanish. And so yeah, we recorded and she's singing and I made the guy, because the guy I recorded with, he was very like it has to be perfect, right? So he was kind of going easy because I was like, nope. I was like, I don't care. Like, make her do it till so she redid it like 50 takes till she got it like perfect.
Oh,
But after that, she respected the music. Like, then it was like, oh wow, like, oh, you
there you
actually
go.
are, like, wow, you're an artist, like you do this, like, so that was my revenge. I was like, all right, like, so
Yeah.
then once she saw that, like, yeah, her whole everything changed like forever, right?
Yeah.
But that was my thing. I was like, all right, like I just like, okay, like, But it's
Yeah.
funny. I felt bad for people that, like, oh, I don't know, like, I guess it affects you, like it affected you. See, so I always knew, I was like, damn, I know this would affect a normal person pretty bad.
Yeah,
Like,
that's yeah, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's not that it affected me. The thing is with me, because I have so many talents, it was just, oh, okay, if I'm not gonna go with this, I can go with something else.
yeah. See, but to me,
No?
but me, it's like when I have that, when you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna do it more kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So yeah, yeah, like, oh, I can't,
Yeah, like I'll prove you wrong. Yeah, no.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
No. Not so much. I wanted her to at least appreciate my character, appreciate my heart. Like that was my thing with my mom. It wasn't so much, oh, believe in me. It was why do you treat me badly? Why do you always yell at me? Why are you always hitting me? Because that was the thing. My mom wouldn't talk to me, was just yelling and always calling me names, always putting me down. And she hit me with everything, anything that was in front of her, like a belt, a sandal. She would break brushes on my butt, anything, and she would hit me anywhere, and it was awful. It was very, 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 very bad, very aggressive in mental, physical, and verbal. So it's insane. And so I had that, but from my dad's side, it was the complete opposite. So that's why, and then I guess because of my essence, because I am pure hearted, because I am a good person, I just wanted her to see that. Why do you treat me this way when I am, like, I just want to give you love, or when I'm just love, I'm all about love, what's happening? And so this translated in my relationships. I had healthy relationships because I guess, I had a healthy relationship with dad, but I would leave those. I would be like, this is boring or something. I don't know. I don't know what the emotion. I haven't truly delve into that aspect of me yet. Like, what was I thinking? But anyway, I the bad relationships were me trying to resolve, I guess, in a way that relationship with my mom and my brother. Consequently, my brother is also in the story. My brother copied my mom's behavior. He also hit me a lot. So growing up, being hit by both of them, being called names and being yelled at by both of them, very mistreated. And so in my relationships, the ones that were unhealthy, that repeated that same dynamic. The more they would mistreat me, the more I would be like, but don't. Oh my God, I gave you everything. Oh my God, I'm giving myself to you in a silver plate. Why are you treating me this way? And so until I learned, and then I also learned that, oh, whatever happened with my mom, it was not my fault. and I'd never had to. I don't need her, and nowadays, like I don't need her to see my heart. None of that exists anymore. It was all just because, it was all just a product of my circumstances and my relationship with her. But yeah, but I've been through so much that just dissolved. Thank God. And I'm able to talk about it, because before, yeah, I would either not talk about it or I would, but I would cry my eyes out. Yeah. So it's good to get to a point where it's not that I'm talking bad about my mom. I'm talking about my story, my circumstances, what happened to me, because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, how can she talk about her mom like that? It's like, no, it's not. I'm not talking about her necessarily. Yes, I have to say it was her because she was my aggressor, but I'm putting my story out there because I have a feeling that it can help a lot of people too. People who
Well,
might be going
you
through this.
no, you'd be surprised how many people can relate to that story,
Hmm.
like yeah, like I get it. Like a lot of people have those. Why I find it really interesting what you said about like that, like the worst someone treated you, but that's like a human thing. I've always wanted to know that, like why in the hell do people? Because for the most part, I was really good at when I felt someone treated me bad in a relationship, I would go. But I feel like I finally did experience it at least once. And that's why I feel bad for anybody. It doesn't even make sense to me. Luckily, I only experienced it that I could say really like once. And if I did it when I was younger, it wasn't as long, right? It was like, and then even to me, it almost felt like if you're under a spell or something, like to me, it was like, what the, how does this happen? Like, it doesn't even make sense. It
Right.
feels stupid, really, to me. Like, but most people do. Like, they want, like, you hear about it all the time. Like, people get treated like, and they love the people that treat them like shit, basically.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
what it is, if that's like part of the reason we come to Earth to like learn that, or like,
Absolutely. But I think it's circumstances from life. Like for instance, now I feel like you. I feel like, oh my God, like how can you put yourself in that situation? Like, no, to me nowadays, oh my gosh, like I am, especially, I always loved being on my own. And that's the thing. I have both sides. Like I said, the light and the dark, and growing up so intensely in the middle of it all, it took so much to bring it all into balance, to bring it all into harmony, and to find my balance, and so um now I'm able to see what I wasn't able to see back then. And it wasn't every relationship. I had, like, I guess 8 boyfriends, let's say. Out of, no, it was half. 4 were bad, 4 were good. So it's bad. But anyway, it's not that I went looking for it. It's not that I liked it. For me, it just, I guess that side of me that related to mom in that way, I was still wanting that same treatment. But the side of me that was well treated by dad, because I grew up, I had this confidence to me, and I knew that whatever I wanted would happen, and whatever da da da. But at the same time, in relationships, I was having terrible relationships, and then I was being the opposite of confident. I was being so jealous, like, oh my gosh, if they talk to people, oh my gosh, they're not making me the center of their attention or whatever. I don't know. I went through so many little things. I mean, like, we would have to spend days talking about this, but um so yeah, so as I guess this is the best way that I can put it. It's, if you who are watching, if you're caught in this, then just look back and try to identify in your life when and how were you treated by whoever in your life, because then you're repeating a pattern because of your subconscious, because it gets used to it, it gets, yeah, it's like, I'm getting some attention. You know, it's insane. I don't know. It is.
No, no, but you kind of answered it because it's true. Like maybe that is something from your parent, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's really the only thing that could plant that seed, because whose affection do you, like a kid, right? They will
Yeah.
endlessly, a parent could be like, dude, get the hell out of here. And a kid will be loyal to that parent until they hit a certain age. Yeah. So it has to be from there. It has to be. So maybe I mean, I think people already think that, right?
Uh,
Like that. Everything has to do with like your relationships tend to mimic what you went through with your parents, right?
it
That kind
does.
of thing. So,
It does. There's no escape.
yeah, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
we could blame our parents for everything then, huh?
That's the thing. Like this is, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I am like I don't see my job as a job. Like I am I become part of the family, and I am one of the educators. I am one of the example setter, right? And so I am responsible for their emotional well-being, for their, for everything. So, and these parents are trusting me with their most precious possession. And so I take it very seriously. And because I was the child that went through that, and I don't want any other child to go through that. I don't. So, so I only work for families that I actually agree with, that I read, that everything has to agree. I can't fire a family. Like I have, and I look, this is not going to be a good match.
Oh
Look, I
wow.
can't, yeah, I can't work for you. I'm sorry. I don't see eye to eye. Yeah, no, it has to be a good match. It has to be, we have to have the same morals and ethics, and come from a same grounds of I guess practice, education practices, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but anyway.
I
um
got you. I got
Yeah, yeah. So I take this seriously because I do think that it all stems from childhood. It's there. It happened. And there's a doctor named Dr. Gabor Mate. Have you ever heard of him? Gabor yeah, I don't know if I'm butchering his name for sure, but he's amazing. I discovered him, and he defends the fact that it goes even um back, like it goes back to when you are in the womb. So he believes that it starts there, all the trauma, everything. Not just when you're a child and you're going through all of these abuses and whatnot, because no matter what, everybody is undergoes some sort of abuse, like some sort of, it's either verbal or physical, or yeah, like it mental, whatever. So unfortunately, and so when people start understanding that they are the ones that can make the change, then they will start shifting that cycle, that vicious cycle in their family. You know,
you. Yeah, yeah.
so for instance, I come from this, but I'm not perpetuating this. I didn't raise my son this way. I didn't treat my son the way my mom treated me. No, it's like it. I did have on occasion when he was little, maybe twice or three times, I acted the way she did. I hit his hand, I hit his bum, but I felt so bad. I was like, this is not me. This is not who I am. This is my mom. And I am not going to perpetuate this. I'm not going to be the same way that she was with me. This ends here. And so when everybody starts to understand that hey, don't do to your kids what was done to you, do better, be better, then we'll start seeing major shifts, because then you don't get frustrated adults, you don't get anxious adults, you don't get um, confused adults, or adults, it's all being shaped and molded right there in infancy. And like that Dr. Gabor Mate, whatever, explains, he says that when you're in the womb, you're getting all of your mom's feelings. You're getting all of her frustration, everything. You're feeling all of that. And so you come out already with that imprint from your mom. And then you start getting the imprint that you learn by observing their behavior and how they talk to each other and how they treat each other, how they talk to other people. And then it's so complex and yeah, so
No, but
paradoxical.
it's not complex. Like, you know what's funny? I mean, for me, see, on a spiritual level, it goes even deeper than that. But I don't know who, like,
True,
well, this is a spiritual
true.
podcast, so it don't
It
matter. Like,
does.
even now, like, for me, like, it was confirmed about, like, past life stuff. So
It
that,
does. Yeah.
yeah, that stuff made sense. I was like, dude, that makes 1,000,000% sense of certain things that I experienced in this life. But
Yeah.
even that, like, when I was in college, I remember I did this presentation on, they were doing studies on rats, and the rats, they would shock them and then release like a scent of cherry, right?
Uh-huh.
So then those rats had babies and they wouldn't shock them, but they would release the cherry and they would start shaking. And it was
Oh,
like, never having been shocked, it traveled in the DNA, right? And then those rats had babies and they were never shocked and they would release the cherries and they would shake.
oh
They were
wow.
expecting it. Yeah. So it traveled, I think
Yeah.
it traveled 2 generations without never having contact from one rat to the babies. And then so the grandchildren were still experiencing the trauma from what happened to the grandparents. So,
Wow.
I think if it happens in rats, it obviously could happen in people, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. But even that, it's funny that even moms, like, imagine growing up, like, even in Mexico, like, they would already say that. Even like that didn't have school education, they already knew. Like, they would be like, oh, that kid's like, he's a scaredy cat, right? Oh, he's afraid of everything because when his mom was pregnant, a freaking dog attacked her. Or, oh, that kid, yeah, he's scared
Oh,
of everything because, when his mom was pregnant with him, she was in this car wreck. So it'd be like crazy. And it goes with like what you said about like
dang.
them being in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that they would already know that. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, well, the reason he's all scared of everything is because, yeah, the mom, when she was pregnant, she saw like, oh, wow. Now, it makes sense. So it's pretty crazy
Yeah.
that they had that knowledge. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So,
amazing. It's all connected. There's no separation. It's amazing. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, and then even that, right? Like, I don't know. I think it is that deep, but like, I have this picture that I love because it's my great grandma on her deathbed, right?
Um,
And then on the side of her is my grandma, but she's pregnant with my mom. And that's the year that my mom was born. And they say women already have all the eggs they're going to have
oh.
inside of the womb when they're 5 months inside of the womb. So that
Oh.
means I was in that picture too. That means my mom was already past 5 months. That means she had all her eggs, even though she was inside my grandma's stomach, she had all the eggs she was going to have for the rest of her life inside of her. So I was in there, so in that picture, it's 4 generations, right? It's my great grandma on her deathbed, my grandma pregnant with my mom, and then I'm inside, like, so, you know. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
no, it's
yeah, it
crazy
is.
because, yeah,
It is.
literally, like, I'm in there, right? But so if my grandma got traumas, that means my mom was in there. That means I was. I don't know, Of course, I would still be an egg or whatever, but you're in there, so I don't know. I'm sure it's all in the DNA, right? The traumas pass and this and that, right? Something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe they don't know how to prove it yet scientifically, but I believe that. I believe that
No,
that's
I believe. Yes. No, I'm a true believer. Yeah.
yeah,
I am.
yeah.
I believe in way too many things.
No, but that's how and when you said that earlier about, see, I was always someone that the same, right? People would take advantage,
Right.
but because I took everyone's word because I didn't expect people to lie because if
Yeah.
anything, yeah, once you find out, it's almost like you feel sorry for them because it's like, well, shit, like when they would laugh at you, like, I got over on you, to me, it'd be like, well, that's sad that you had to lie, like, damn. You know, like
Yeah.
I never wanted to live a life where everything's like, you're taught that, after you're taught like, damn, everyone lies or people
Mhm.
are out here
I
trying to get over on people. But I have been a fool lots of times. I have been naive because I generally think like, someone's not gonna lie. So I like to think that people are honest. But yeah, on that note, like if there's anything else you want to add, if not, we can end it because I know now we're talking about rats and eggs and all this other stuff.
I know. You're gonna have to edit this.
Nah, it's live, so it's already out there. Like this is gonna be live, so it is what it is now.
Welcome to a chat with two air signs.
Yeah, that's
We
exactly, yeah.
jump, 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 jump.
No, my second longest was that I interviewed another Gemini,
Yeah.
a tarot reader, and yeah, that one I think went almost 3 hours or something. Yeah,
Oh
or
wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah. So,
yeah, yeah. And
so
I love
absolutely.
talking, and I can tell that you love talking. So we're like, woo, woo, woo.
No, I love
Oh,
when
but
you were
this was
saying that
amazing.
stuff
Yeah.
for the sake of transparency and being it was triggering stuff like because see the whole thing I was all light and fluffy and feeling happy, but when you brought up that stuff, so for some reason there's some stuff that even though it feels like everything's already taken care of, I found like there's stuff, or it reminds you, you know what I mean?
Nothing happens. Everything happens for a reason.
Oh,
Nothing.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
So
I was like we were meant to be having this conversation
yes,
because it's
and this was meant to be brought up to your attention again somehow.
yeah, absolutely because but even that, I guess people will get, even though, like, yeah, we started off with, let's talk about spiritual things, then we go into this, but it's kind of like this. When I was trying to go focus on the spiritual, if my physical life was like in chaos, I couldn't focus on the spiritual.
Right.
So sometimes it's like, well, when you really like, sometimes in that chaos, you will find the spiritual, but sometimes if it's so bad, you can't focus. You just can't see beyond. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're into like the spirit animals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that was one of my first things, and they still like on a daily basis. Oh yeah, we actually talk. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Let's end it on that. Let's talk about you had an experience with the bird, right? And yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
Lord.
Because
Yes.
because even today, I don't think that's ever happened like that. Like a hawk came swooping in, and it's funny because it's hawks air thing, so it's funny, and it
Yeah.
it it crashed into something. Like I think it tried to grab an animal, and then it must have missed it because as it was flying off, I looked at its claws and it didn't have it right. But I
Right.
love the hawk. They're always
Oh, they're gorgeous.
yeah. Because my point to that is like the hawk has the best eyesight. It has better eyesight than the eagle. Everything. So when hawks have came to me, if I'm stuck in my head, they remind you to see the big picture, right? Like because they could see everything. So the hawk, I love the hawk because it's like when I've been stuck in my head and then a hawk will swoop in or something, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, or they'll screech at me or something, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. So it's like, remember, like, hey, step out of this human body real quick, see the whole big picture. Everything's gonna or play out the way it's supposed to, or stuff like that. So let's talk about you went through something, right? With the you hit a bird. If you don't mind me saying, right? You're good with me.
Well, that's the thing. I did not hit him.
Oh,
He hit my bumper.
okay.
So, so I'm driving. Oh, it was so crazy. So I always like I take different paths. Like I don't like going the same way every day. And so I went down this road and it wasn't that busy. And it was like it's just land, like there's some houses, whatever. All of a sudden, I can't even explain where he came from because I'm focusing on the road, I'm singing. All of a sudden I saw something, but immediately as I saw it, it hit my bumper, and then it was so weird because it didn't fall immediately. It tried to fly again, but then it fell, and then it went to the other side of the road, and then I was in shock, and I was like, oh, and I slowed down, and I was checking the mirror, and I'm like, I need to go back, and then there were the cars behind me, and then there were cars coming. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna smash the bird, and I kept checking, and he didn't, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And then I'm like trying to see where can I turn around, but in shock and everything. And then as soon as I could, I turned around because I was going to grab him and take him to the vet. but he wasn't there, and there was no sign of him there. And so yeah, but it's I mean, how do you hit a bird? Birds can fly, like how do yeah, he came and he just boom. And then I was like, oh shit, so yeah, but it was insane.
But
And
see,
it never
you
happened.
were kind of, you were in your head about it, right? Like it kind of bothered you. And
And no, it didn't bother me. It shocked me
mm,
completely. And I was like, whoa, like, oh my gosh, first I wanted to make sure he was okay. And then after the whole thing, I was like, oh shit, what can this mean?
mm.
But it's not that it bothered me, but I am a little superstitious because I guess this is one of the things that I need to detach from superstition because it's so big in Brazil and in
Oh,
Bahia. People are so, oh my gosh, it's something for everything, a superstition for everything. And so
wow.
growing up with that, it becomes part of you. And so I immediately was like, what can this mean? And I guess because I started looking up meanings and they weren't all good, I started being like, oh shit, oh no. And it wasn't a great day. It was a day that I was like I decided that today is just I'm not gonna be worried about anything because I usually don't worry, but it was just a day that I had declared that you know, just peace today. No, nothing bad is coming my way. And then boom. And I'm like, oh. So yeah, I guess it bothered me, but not really. Like, yeah. I was just scared of the superstition, of the meaning. Like, what is this? What does yeah.
Yeah. See,
But
we
then
could have talked about that then. So there's a lot of superstitions in Brazil, like big time.
big time.
Wow. Yeah.
Big time. We'll
No.
have to save this for another time because it's 11 my time. You
Oh, wow.
were three
Okay.
hours.
Damn, damn. Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know.
You
It
were.
was. Yeah. Okay. Shit. I forget. Yeah. You know, it's
I
crazy because everyone,
yeah.
yeah, always has a different time zone, and the craziest ones is like when I've done them, like in France or those like
Oh,
the other
nice.
interviews, and then it's like the time's so off, and it's like Australia too. I interviewed someone in Australia, and yeah, it was like, wait,
Awesome.
you're like in a whole another day already, so it's like weird. Yeah, it's like night here and it's morning over there, or it's just
Yes.
crazy. But yeah, okay, I won't prolong it. So I'll put any links you want me to share, like for the coach, mindset coach, or anything you want me to share. I'll put it in the description if you want to send me the links. That way
Okay.
people can get a hold of you
Okay.
and all that good stuff. Cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
this was so great.
Yeah.
I knew I would have fun. You're awesome.
No, no. Likewise. Yeah. I know we jumped all over the place, but hey,
Yeah.
it happens. So thank you so
It's
much. Thank
great.
you for anyone that was watching or is gonna watch. Teresa, who interacted with us. And
Thank
on that note,
you.
yeah, we'll end it. Have a good night, and we'll speak soon.
Yes, absolutely. Have a beautiful night. Thank
Okay.
you everyone for watching.